Find out as Gragas and Kalista are our first two bans.
Yeah, it's funny. Last game they almost got outscaled as a team fighting a team.
Yeah.
Graves starting to drop off in terms of his relevance, and it was just Punish saying, "Where is my team?" the entire time. But the bans, I like that they got rid of Gragas again. Take that away from Amy. Make sure he doesn't have his best champion. It's not to make him uncomfortable. It's just to make him less proficient.
Yeah, just, you know, kind of weaken him a little bit there. Give him something else. Maybe open up something like that Echo again for Swift, as Ezreal is the ban away. A nice respect ban there to Punished, and well-deserved despite the Game 1 loss there for Unlimited Potential. But what do UP want to take as their second? They've been very careful in the way that they've drafted. You'd ban Nidalee? Well, they banned Nidalee too.
Yeah, you don't want Swift having Nidalee. His performances, irrespective of win or loss, have been phenomenal. It just unlocks this style of Xiaogu in that they can pick tanks mid even. They can just have the one tank top. They can have TCT on a Braum. A guy that loves to die a lot, TCT, may as well put him on a tanky champion. Let Swift carry. He already gets a lot of the gold. May as well unlock him with that Nidalee. But they don't get that one this time because another smart ban from Unlimited Potential.
I wonder how many jungle bans we'll see. We saw a couple in the last game, at least these two, perhaps one more if memory serves. But it's going to be the Sivir ban, actually. I believe that was banned away from TNT on the blue side. So Xiaogu going to keep the trend of banning Sivir on blue here as well. Yeah,
fairly targeted bans here. Getting rid of the Sivir opens up the first pick possibilities. I guess the Echo is going to be another big contested point. Will Unlimited Potential ban that Echo away, though, is another important question to ask.
They can also just leave it up, ban something else, and leave up the likes of Ryze, leave up Alistar. Who the other? Shen is another big pick that's come in. They are going to ban the Ryze, though. Have to think Xiaogu are going to take maybe that. Maybe that. Both those picks would make sense.
I'd say the Echo, unless Punished has a preference towards Victor also, and it might be a priority. But in saying that, Amy does have the priority towards Echo. It is a big pick for them, and they've already spent 10 seconds hovering it, which generally is not a good tactic if you've got the first pick, and it's big.
Yeah, I mean, Punish will play Victor. I'm fairly confident UP will pick it up early if they're allowed to here. And they do take Echo. You have to think Victor's one of the responses here from Unlimited Potential. But what else do they take away?
Keeping in mind that Alistar is still readily available. The Nautilus is also there. It is a very strong possibility for them to play to their strengths with this first rotation in picks and get a very good engage, get a big front line, maybe just go for the jungler as well because they've got the last pick and they can counter pick the mid lane or the AD carry role with it.
I feel like Alistar's actually dropped off quite a bit this weekend, which is weird. Like, we've seen like some Janna and that sort of thing, but we've seen a lot of like Leona, Annie, even Nautilus has sort of dropped off, but heaps of hard engage supports, which is interesting. So kind of trending away from the Alistar, maybe a bit more lane dominance, but Limited Potential, they'll take Amy, he'll take Evelyn this time instead of Rek'Sai, but there is Punish with the Victor.
Yeah, seemingly more of like a ranged engage option. The Alistar very in the face, has to use the ultimates and be a part of fights as a tank. They've got a lot of options in the top lane as exclusive tanks now with the Shens and the Hekarims and Maokais, so not necessarily needing that as their options. The first picks, though, from Unlimited Potential, they take the Victor away, they've got the Evelyn again, and it's a very aggressive pick, this Evelyn, around vision, and doesn't do too bad into the Echo. I probably wouldn't want to find them in a direct 1v1. Echo might have a pretty good time there, might be feasting on some Evelyns, but Xiaogu not changing it up at all.
No, going to stick to the Annie Corki bottom lane that served them relatively well in game number 1. Certainly the Leona Gro's bottom lane was good for UP in the lane specifically here, but Xiaogu again, they've got the Echo Annie combo. That's really all they were looking for, you have to think.
A part of me feels like they're just going to man up and pick the exact same Leona Graves combo into them.
Yeah.
Maybe change up the Graves to something with a bit more range and scaling. But the Leona is just such a strong pick into the Annie. They need the engage here from Unlimited Potential. They've got the Evelyn in the jungle. Victor, very good at following up engage. But depending on what they actually want to go for, I'd say the top laner is also something that needs to be considered.
Yeah, I mean, the last picking top lane at this point for UP, given that they're moving things around. But Lucian Leona, okay, you know, not Lucian, not Graves Leona, but very similar.
Troll.
Sketch. I like it. I actually really like that it's going back to the lane. Like you said, man up and take the lane again. You did so well in game 1.
Exactly. They won the laning phase. They have no reason not to play it again. The only question mark is always going to be that scaling. They've got a Victor now, though, and they've got an Evelyn. So there's no question on the scaling.
No, not at all. I mean, what does Xiaogu do here? That's the thing. They've got 1 or 2 variables here with the mid lane and jungle, but they might just pick
Why would you go variables?
True, the comp works so well. Do I be sort of like, do I do this again? V's like, give me the heck room. I'll definitely take that.
I guess the big question mark is, why are they letting us do this
again?
Yeah,
that's true. Like, what are we baiting ourselves into? But Xiaogu are going to have to find out in the last pick here. They'll take the exact same comp into game number 2.
Deja vu.
Yep.
Nothing changing from Xiaogu. We know what their team comp's designed to do. We know who the focal points are, who can carry them through. The questions I guess you can pose is, will V be farming for 28,000 years before he starts to group again? Will Doinb go off again? Will the bot lane not lose as hard?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions.
I mean, what's Punish playing? Because he has to play something. Oh, sorry, he's playing Victor. What's Long playing is the question then.
Maokai.
Shen's available. Maokai would be great. He hovered it already.
Or Nautilus, I guess. He's looking for a follow-up on the engage. They've got plenty of follow-up engage. They don't have enough scaling damage, so Shyvana wouldn't be too bad for that. But I like the Maokai, something that I mentioned earlier. It negates a lot of Swift, Doinb, and TNT and Echo as well. It basically just ruins their team comp if you can put the ultimate down before they engage.
Yeah, Maokai is excellent against Assassins. We used to see all the time Maokai into LeBlanc as a counter pick. It's really similar logic into Kassadin.
Yeah, it's the anti-assassin meta is essentially just have so many people that can't actually die that the assassin does nothing. So they're going with a similar one to that right now, but they've got the Victor to back it up with full scaling hard damage.
Yeah, and Punished, he did damage in game number 1 as well, so he's going to have maybe a bit more utility here, just a bit more playmaking options maybe there from the mid lane. But what about the matchup itself? Because Doinb hasn't changed anything on his side. He's back on Kassadin. In fact, let's just go through them now. V back on Hecarim versus Long on Maokai. Welcome to Farmtown.
Yeah, wet noodles everywhere.
Yep.
We've got a tree against the horse. It's just going to be PvE.
Yep, we'll Swift on Echo. This time Amy with Evelyn. Not quite as aggressive as the Rek'Sai, but similarities there. This is my big lane. What does Punish do in this lane? How's this matchup?
He struggles, Punish. This is actually a Kassadin-favored lane, so funnily enough, giving them the counter pick what worked for them so well in the first one.
Yeah, a little awkward there as TNT back on Corki versus the good matchup here for Sketch and Hart. That's the Graves and Leona back into the Corki Annie. And I wonder if Amy's going to change up his gank paths. He had good pressure in the bottom lane to start things off. Tried to make the difference where it counted in the winning lane, but maybe needs to look somewhere else this time.
Yeah, you might want to put the attention somewhere else, but in saying that, if it's not broken, don't fix it, could be the logic here. The ganks were successful last time. It may work for them again if they can actually use those advantages and snowball.
Yeah, I mean, again, Xiaogu picked the same comp, so certainly think that whatever happened the last time was not broken, but we'll see if UP have a different response. Let's get onto the rift for game number 2. And welcome back onto the Rift here for Xiaogu versus UP, game number 2. We talked about points being important. Xiaogu are now poised to take the full 3 points from this matchup on unlimited potential. Did so well to almost win game number 1, but got run over in the end by QG's team fighting comp. And to QG's success, they've got the exact same comp in this game.
Yeah, they're just doing the exact standard thing they were last time. You can see even the same potential response here from unlimited potential. Getting that level 2 top lane, perhaps. They know Swift's there.
Yeah.
Oh, they all know Swift is there.
Yeah, he's trying to get away. He has his flash. He'll actually make it to safety and some nice walls from Xiaogu.
Yeah, too, yeah.
You can hear the insane amount of pings.
Loud noises indicate something is going on. So all of them find themselves standing on top of a ward as Swift smartly gets away. But yeah, we've got the exact same team comp as the first game from Xiaogu. And we're almost seeing an identical beginning here from Unlimited Potential.
Those are really interesting wards from Xiaogu.
They're looking for the lane swap, a very deep invade style of looking for
yeah,
lane swap.
It's almost like they expected UP to go to the top side. It's like, yep, let's just make sure we have perfect coverage.
Yeah. So it's not about preventing it and matching it.
Yep.
It's not necessarily a lane you want to be into, but it does unlock a lot of potential, say, jungling with the Hecarim at the start. They know that he's safe to do so because they can see them topside. But in this case, I think they've even baited the lane swap. Did
UP have a ward? They might have spotted Annie there, but Swift will actually start with his W, hit down the red. A little bit of help there from V. Hart's going to start on the Gromp. That's actually Scat and Hart doing that, because the Krugs into red was the start from Amy and Long.
Yeah, they've actually put the lane swap into effect here, Xiaogu. And I'm not surprised by that, given how last game went for them in the 2v2. It was pretty gross.
It was.
Making it work for them this time, hopefully getting that minion farm experience instead of actually taking a Leona to the face.
And I really like what Xiaogu are doing with the early game as well. They've actually not really jungling together so much as helping each other jungle and just sort of leapfrogging through the jungle together to make sure that they each get maximum value out of their early camps.
Yeah, it's really cool the way they're working around it. Also efficiency and speed of clear times because one's being started and they're already moving to the next one as it's being finished.
Long's going to have a bad time in this lane. TCT's already leveled the Q. He's just going to keep doing this. And now Leona's going to join in, going to complete that 2 lane here and try and contest. So Maokai gets some fun. Because Long was, not going to have any fun at all.
It's not a great experience to be a Leona Maokai into a Korkin and Annie, that's for sure. Hart, as tanky as he might try to be, will still be getting destroyed. Corki's base damage is very high without even spells.
And here comes the 5-man. Hart going to get caught up there. Tag with a time on to TCT with a great stun. Hart going to just flash out in time, but first blood will go to Swift.
And just like that, as if it wasn't bad enough for them to be in this top lane, it is suddenly so much worse. Graves being left to a solo lane is nice though. 1v0 getting free experience and levels, and that's always good for a Graves. But Leona level 1, you do not want to be behind as Leona or you're relegated to just using your ultimate and dying.
Yeah, Swift level 3 now, smites away the Krug, so able to get a bit more experience there. But Long level 2, Hart still level 1 like you mentioned. Things are rough here in the top side of the map, and Xiaogu don't even commit to a fast push, just take their gank and get out.
Yeah, there's no reason to commit if they are happy having the 2v1 matchup, or the 2v2 rather, with the Maokai and Leona perhaps. They actually just want to stay in this for as long as possible, try and scale up their carry in TNT this time opposed to V, and get him going for team fights.
Yeah, looks like V just going to go back to jungling there with Swift as well, so going to keep that early game nice as Hart tries to get some creeps down, clear them out. They're trying to make the wave hit the tower.
That's nice, actually. The synergy between a Maokai and a Leona, which is not something you often talk about. Their wave clear is massive.
Yeah, between the Leona passive, the AoE, and the sub lane.
Yeah, they can instantly clear backlines in their level 2.
Nice. In fact, Qiao are tanking the minion lane there as well. And Long's like, yep, I've had enough of leaving this lane. Let's go gank Doinby.
Doinby, though.
Oh, 4-man. Oh, walks away.
Yeah, he's in a very good defensive position. He knows that they were missing.
Yep.
You can see the wards all scattered through the river from Unlimited Potential. They have complete control of that area, but they can't make something happen. So essentially a wasted investment. They're getting no information from this either.
Yeah, now we've got TCT roaming as well. He's going down towards the bottom. Swift is already down here with V, so they're going to break the freeze in the bottom lane and give Hecarim an opening here. And all the while, Corki's just happily freezing, collecting farm in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, the only saving grace is that Sketch is completely free farming. He's going to be level 6 sooner than pretty much anyone else on the map besides maybe the mid laners. And his burst, once he hits that level 6, is phenomenal. So the Graves could be the big factor in this game, but in saying that, Corki's matched the farm. Mid lane's still scaling, and it just feels like from the very beginning of this game, Xiaogu have answered everything, and they're actually rotating very efficiently and smartly. Yeah,
have a slight gold lead of about 200 with that first blood, so doing well there. And Swift and TCT are waiting for this to happen, because V is going to bait them in. He'll run into the brush. Swift will set up the area of the Parallax Converter. So dive in onto Amy. That's the first target. Taking a lot of damage, but TCT will die first. They don't have enough damage. Sketch is massive right now. That buckshot almost getting him another kill. And Swift now, level 3, getting locked up. We'll get the Time Wider down onto Hart. Now Doinby's going to rotate down. He's got just level 5, I think, actually, as Swift gets the kill there. Does come in time, though. Swift actually gets himself away. Sketch tanking minions has to be careful.
Teleport was cancelled. Almost baited Sketch into dying.
Oh, V going to run back. W will zone them away. And Xiaogu get a nice little trade there.
They almost baited Sketch into death right there, but he does get out. And what was a nice attempt at a counter-engage from Xiaogu, their positioning was exactly where it needed to be. They can't fight the Graves. Something that we just touched on is how big he is from raw levels alone. He has now got himself a BF sword on top of everything else. And this guy is just massive.
He is. And BF sword now for Sketch as well. Almost level 6. They're just ramping up here. And Doinby, I like the roam. Pre-6 there on the Cassidy. Actually made the difference from mid lane.
He's quite happy in this mid lane. The Victor matchup is not something that a Victor excels at. He's got a lot of wave clear and can try and keep the Cassidy under turret once he upgrades their Hex Core and gets that wave clear from the E upgrade. But in saying that, Cassidy free to do as he would like pre that stage. And even finding a roam at level 5 is just credit to Doinby being super smart.
What is it about the matchup that Victor can struggle with? Because you mentioned it's sort of like a soft counter there for Doinby.
There's just no way to trade as a Victor, and that's one thing that Victor's strengths are, is that he's almost unmatchable in terms of trading. But a Cassidy has a magic resistance or a magic shield so the Victor doesn't actually do damage to a Kassadin, whereas Victor has a very low health pool and can still take damage.
Yeah, and as you can see, oh, Chaos Storm actually down. Don't be going to get stunned, but just shaking it off.
He might even go back in on him. Doesn't have Ignite though.
Forget about it. Oh, never mind. Rethinks his position. Swift! Diving in, got the red buff. Amy's here as well, though. Takes a tower hit. Dornby doesn't have enough mana. Swift might die. Dornby's like, yeah, I have to do something. Turns it on to Amy. Good riff walk away. Really smart play.
Good of Dornby to make sure his teammate gets out alive. These two, the best friends club essentially. Might be one-sided in the best friendship, but they are the best friends club. TNT's here.
Oh, hello. Punished. Getting ganked by a Corki. Forces the flat. Ultimate's in.
My God.
Misses the missile, though. Forced to heal. Gets Amy, but will die to heart.
Almost got a double kill, but missing both of the rockets. Punished dodging those ones. Getting away with no health to speak of, as they do still get a kill. TNT with the aggression.
Oh, TNT.
That was unusual.
Well, not for TNT. He's a very aggressive player.
Yeah. Trying his best Scatch impression there almost.
Oh, that was nice. Gets a sheen, gets parts of his fade. Not doing too badly there, but the AD carry roam mid. Everyone applying attention here to the important parts of the map. As we'll relax a bit now. Gold nice and even. Kills pretty close there as well. Hart looking again. V, but Hecarim having a fun old time, farming away with his Balmy Cinder in top lane.
Lots of map movements this game, that's for sure. The 5 kills doesn't accurately reflect how much impact has been going down on the entirety of the map. Focus mid, there's been focus bot lane, they've had numbers top as well. They've taken first bloods on people with 4-mans pretty much everywhere on the map. It's just, there's a lot going on. But the direct advantage is actually non-existent right now, as the Corki and Graves have both found themselves with kills, but you look at the jungle, and that is where the entirety of it is actually going.
Yep, Amy with a bit of a CS lead there, going for Runeglaive versus the Cinderhulk that's already been finished there for Swift, who has 2 kills to sort of balance out that CS discrepancy. Blue buffs will get swapped over to the respective mid laners here as well. But Dornby with his blasting wall, I'm going to look to get a bit more aggressive into Punished.
Yeah, and it's nice that they've got both of their kills onto Swift. The carry of the side, essentially, in the jungle role, has got most of the kills. That is fantastic for them to try and push themselves through a strong mid-game, maybe prevent the team fighting that unlimited potential are very capable of doing. Or they could just try and do exactly what they did last game and just try and outscale.
Yeah, I mean, again, they've got the comp. Dornby went off in game 1. They certainly have the tools to do it again here. Even Swift going back to the tanky Cinderhulk build. It is a matter of scaling here for Xiao, and this time, the nice thing for them is the bottom lane's been the one that's been mostly untouched.
Yeah, definitely. The Corki actually having farm, not being behind, or the Graves not being ahead.
Amy. Ooh. Good stun there. Now TCT going to follow up. Does have the stun in the end. Amy just can't get away at all. Does pop the ulti, but it's not quite enough health. Teleport down for V as well. Hard diving in. Long will get the kill. TNT little late to the party as Dornby's going over V. Just tags Long with the ulti as Swift going to go back in as well. Chrono breaks his way to safety as Dornby gets the kill. Now Hart going to get looked at, barely missing the stun.
They find the numbers advantage again. They can rotate around the map so easily. V taking some damage, but is the Dragon going to be considered?
They wanted the Dragon. I mean, they have to because V kind of ported down here, and they've got 2 smites, but he's a little low. Not sure I want to face check a Victor despite the fact that Punish has no ulti.
The teleport. This is really risky.
Yeah, Long going to join in. Dornby's low on mana. Dragon going to get angry.
It's pretty mad.
Yeah. Hits hard a couple times, resets, goes back to his home. Sketch gets the top tower. That was a mistake from Xiao, I think.
Great pressure from Unlimited Potential to force them to not be able to do the Dragon and also conceding a tower at the same time. Graves basically split pushing at the moment, trying to get some advantages in levels and items and translating that into a mid-game strength, which he is definitely going to have right now. He is starting to ramp up. But they find some kills to begin it all. They just couldn't get the Dragon from it. They did force themselves into the Dragon Pit to try and make a trade, but it was well played by Unlimited Potential to defuse that.
Yeah. Nice stuff there, preventing the objective, getting one of their own as well. Keeps them up about 1,000 gold here in this game, so looking good. Dornby, though, on the way to his Rod of Ages, pretty close to finishing it up, actually. Should have that nice and soon here. Got a nice Null Magic Mantle as well for some treads. And things going well for Cass. And again, Xiao, it's all about that scaling. So what's UP looking to do here? They've got a tower, they've got some aggression, they've got the nice bottom lane as well to get things going.
I mean, what I'm seeing from Unlimited Potential right now is they're matching the aggressive mid-game style of itemization that a Corki will get, that the Rod of Ages that will come out of this Kassadin soon will have, by going resistances of their own. You can see the armor boots completed from Maokai with home guards. Wants to teleport in. Now working on the Righteous Glory. Has accelerated his armor, his relative strength against physical damage, and will probably just stack magic resistance from here. You have a look at the mid lane in particular. Doesn't even have boots yet. Is working towards that Abyssal Scepter. Getting resistances as soon as possible to match the mid game that will be coming out of this Xiaogu's side. So their plan is to best them at their own strength.
Well, see if UP can get that done. Do have a nice little lead there in the turrets, but nothing really coming through just yet. Dragon up still. Qiao looked for number 1 but couldn't get it, so we'll see which team can maybe look to create some pressure around the area. As right now, just back to farming. V going to return to top lane. He's still scaling up, and Doinby having a fun old time here in mid against Punished.
Yeah, no teleport available though from the Maokai, and he is top lane. So the Dragon's something that can definitely be considered as something to be done, but depending on where V wants to go, and it seems to be top, it's just going to be a 4v4 if someone decides.
Yeah, Swift still getting tankier as well. He did a lot of farming in game 1, so it's kind of like we saw. Qiao are happy to team fight. TNC also looking for his Trinity Force, so not quite there as far as early game damage goes. But again, the lane's gone a lot better. This game in general is much closer in the early stages of the game. Yeah. But UP might be able to take an advantage though. They kind of not lost, but lost traction in the mid game. It's Heart's lining up a Zenith play. TNT though, Valkyrie's straight out.
Yeah, gets out, of course. Heart trying to bait some spells. He doesn't want to use the ultimate and waste it from the Valkyrie. The turret actually just spotted Evelyn, so a little bit of a mistake. The exclamation mark making that abundantly clear that he has made a big error and smartly leaves.
Amy just going to leave, go back to his jungle, and keep clearing it. Does clear nicely with the Rune Glaive. We saw this yesterday actually from Clearlove. Picking up the Evelyn again. Did go tanky after this though. Sightstone into like your Randuins, that sort of thing. Locket as well, of course, your standard tanky jungle items. But, you know, Rune Glaive's just a nice little upgrade for Jungle Eve.
Yeah, it's nice, and it's not necessarily something that I'm the biggest fan of. If you go for a Rune Glaive, generally you want to go AP to follow that up. Make it actually cost efficient, because Warrior does a similar thing.
Yep.
The difference is that you can go Rune Glaive and max the Q first, the hate spikes opposed to the Ravage on the E, and you'll still be doing the same amount of damage. It's just that the hate spikes are AoE and can hit multiple people, and you can back that up. So the Warrior is more of an on-hit, auto-attack based Ravage build, whereas the Rune Glaive is the Qs.
And right now, they're going to use those Qs and line them up on the Dragon. Punished here as well. Actually, nicely timed Dragon by UP as QG have all backed away from the lane. So that first Dragon will easily go over to unlimited potential.
Yeah, the first Dragon gone. 15 minutes though for the first Dragon. Slightly delayed considering there was a lane swap in effect at the very beginning. But most of the map movement has been around ganking people and trying to get kills. Hasn't necessarily worked in their favors though when anyone does put that into effect. So it's been really hard to translate that advantage into something further, such as an objective, a turret or a dragon. But finally, it does go down. Unlimited potential picking that one up, and they've now translated their strengths towards mid lane.
Yeah, it's just a matter of which team is going to pick up the pace. It feels like UP here is a grouping mid. Doinby actually has to be careful. They will consider tower diving here, and Scatch, relatively strong, got his Berserker Greaves and his 2 big AD items, especially good at taking out turrets. He's just throwing pot shots in, taking a couple tower hits there as well.
Pretty hard to dive. Doinby is quite tanky considering he has a Rod first item with the Negatron cloak available. Scatch is the only big threat to take him down. So the fact that Punish has gone more of a resistance style build, not able to output an abundance of damage himself, they can't necessarily dive unless there's 4 members there.
Ooh, V actually might be lining it up. Yeah, forces Long to flash. He was to advance back on top of him, but that might have been a mistake from Long. V going to come back in. Good Arcane Smash actually to buy some time, but V starting to flex his muscles in the top lane.
He's definitely flexing, but he's also found himself behind.
Ooh, TCT slowed by Heart. No follow-up though. Just going to keep it quiet as unlimited potential. Get themselves the mid lane turret.
Yeah, finding themselves in a strength period right now. Amy
wants
it.
Damage good. Flash forward. Agony's Embrace. V has to run away, but Amy going to keep chasing through. Can he get it? The W's popped. Doesn't have enough. V does get away.
One of the strengths of playing Hecarim. Oh my god.
Yeah, now Swift gonna make it, but Amy does massive damage here. The reset's good. No chrono break from Swift, and Amy gets the 1v1.
Swift actually out of mana, so not able to follow that up with the chrono break.
The nerfs.
Yes, the nerfs have just reigned supreme. The Evelyn finding a kill from the change. Swift would be shaking his head.
Yeah, and Doinby looking for the counter kill, but can't find Amy, who's already invisible. And there's Amy looking pretty pleased with himself after that kill, but still very focused.
Yeah,
he knows the team.
What is pleased really when they have stone faces?
There's a little snicker. He's not punished. Punish is stalwart. He's like, yeah, whatever. I stole the blue buff.
Yeah. NBD.
Don't worry about it. ET. Trinity Force completed for TNT means that items are coming through now for both the AD carries. Infinity Edge there for Sketch, so they're ready to go as far as their first early itemization goes. But Xiaogu, apart from the couple of kills, they're looking to trade back and forth. Only 1,000 gold behind. We talk about their scaling. For me, it really just feels like they're waiting between dragon spawns.
It's nice that they're 1,000 gold behind, considering they're also 0 to 2 in turrets. So that gold is very easily achievable because there is standing gold all over the map for them. They haven't necessarily lost control of a particular lane either, so they're able to sit around maybe the top lane, push, get that turret down, find some gold in their favor. Or they could work around the mid lane perhaps. The bot lane is the only one that's going to be continuously contested, as it's the only standing turret left.
Sketch actually might get a bit more gold here. Miniwave crashing in as TCT can't really defend it solo, especially with Heart just off to the side, zoning him away. Swift is here as well, but the tower is going to fall. Sketch trying to deny a few more minions, but will get the tower for himself. And UP is going to walk away a bit more gold now as that lead ticks up to 2k ahead.
TCT's looking at death. Doesn't find it.
Yep, gets away. Not today, he says. Runs back away with his stunners. TNT is going to keep getting the wave. And UP, they're gaining some ground here, but again, it feels like the teams are waiting between dragon spawns here. And I feel like that favors Xiaogu.
It sort of does, not by a massive amount.
Sure.
You have to keep in mind when a Graves is ahead, he generally stays ahead. He doesn't really drop off in his strength. But the vision is the biggest factor right now. You can say unlimited potential, not really worried about the vision. It'll start to bite them.
Doinby does roam topside. That means Long's under fire now as he does pop his ultimate, trying to shake off some of the damage, but it's a little too much. And Doinby looking for the kill, doesn't get it. TCT will get the kill onto Graves, so Punish gets a response. We pop back in. Amy getting far too low. Swift, though, locked up by the gravity field. Punish makes it count, but the chrono break does finish it off, and now TNT snipes him as V. He'll chase down Punish. Punish trying to find a way out here, but Doinby's found the slow. Good stun there coming in, and the ace is completed by QG across two sides of the map.
It's crazy to consider that V and Doinby were top lane when that fight started. So unlimited potential very smartly taking the fight, knowing they had the numbers advantage. They get a kill onto the Maokai, and then the teleport. You can see Doinby leaving early, knowing that V had the kill, getting there in time to secure at the very least the last one. But the MVP of that fight, you have to give so much credit to the way Swift played that. He was just doing work, saved his ultimate as long as possible to ensure he stayed in the fight, and they cleaned up shop almost in a 3v4.
I was going to give it to TCT for the assassination onto Sketch.
That was pretty good.
I think it was Sketch, but yeah, TCT started that fight off well, and Swift certainly finished it nicely. So mid tower doesn't fall. That's actually the bad news there for Xiaogu, as TNT wasn't able to finish that one off. And Dragon back up in 25 seconds now as both teams, you have to think, going to look to contest. But the Goldids actually flop back over. Xiaogu, after that fight, end up 1,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, they found their window. The engage was right. They get a turret for their troubles, though there was one traded not too long ago. But considering the gold lead in that, yeah, the engage was from Swift and TCT onto the right targets. CCT gets punished, but Victor shouldn't be focusing, and Annie realistically, as Swift was putting in work right there, saving the ultimate for as long as possible. And then the rest of the team was just on cleanup duty.
Yeah, nice teleport back in there from V to clean up the rest of that fight. Dragon is back alive, though. So Xiaogu looking to get a foothold into the area and try and get some vision around it. Amy back in base, Long doing the same, but with Home Guard and teleports ready. But Xiaogu have beaten them at least to the area.
Yeah, they're here. They're ready to fight for this one. And of course, their window is well and truly in effect. The resistances from the Hecarim have been stacked. They're ready to fight.
Well, Xiaogu's pretty tanky. Started Dragon, actually. Limited potential. Can they find the engage? TNT actually hit up by Long. Swift trying to put the zone down. Punish takes the Dragon. Swift forced the chrono break out. He's already too low, and they'll dive in onto Sketch, but there might not be enough damage. Doinby takes up Punish's Sketch. Will go down now. Amy getting chased out. TCT will fall next as Hart now caught up between a few too many. Swift baiting them around. Does get the slowdown there. Will chase away Hart. And a beautiful fight from Xiaogu. Cleans up the almost ace.
And just like that, again, they turn on their strengths. They're so strong at recognizing when they can win fights. They oh my God, that was
good dodge by Amy.
Threading the needle right there. I can't believe he didn't get spotted.
I can't either. A really good attempt there as V and Doinby swept through the bottom lane. trying to stop Amy. But Amy, pretty sneaky on the old Evelyn. Unfortunately for Unlimited Potential, that's the only good news, because Amy, he was the only one to live through that fight.
Yeah, a very convincing fight right there from Xiaogu. They just played to their strengths. 3-0-2 on this Cassidy again. He's going off another time round. They've got the big power spikes from the Corki, the Trinity Force Sork Shoes, and only really had the Vamp Scepter, a bit of magic resistance to boot. If it's worth anything, Punish stole the Dragon as a victor. That's nice.
It was nice, and that's 2-0 up for Unlimited Potential, so keep the Dragon as an objective they can take away. So let's see a replay.
Yeah, we're going to see a replay of this fight. Duinbi and TNT, the big factors in this, get straight onto Punish. At the same time, V goes onto Skatch with TCT's ultimate. They just simultaneously take people down. And this is a team fighting side, Xiaogu, against what is one of the better team fighting sides in the LPL. And they're making it work so well for them, almost just completely making Unlimited Potential look like rookies.
Yeah, Swift's bait there was nice towards the end. But just the collapsing onto those carries, Punish and Skatch died instantly, almost simultaneously in that fight.
So that ward that just showed on the screen actually reveals that they know they're in the bush.
Duinbi's acting delicious. Stun comes in. TNT will dodge it. Duinbi not so lucky from the Zenith Blade. He Rift walks away just in time. Now going to turn it around. Chaos Storm's big. Punish has to get away. He pops his cleanse to get out from under the Annie. Duinbi trying to run away from the Chaos Storm and still get the kills. But V goes in, gets the two-man ulti. TNT jumps through. Duinbi a little low, gets sniped by Skatch in the ulti. But now Swift going to dive in. That's the other kill. 3 for 0 now as Amy starting to take rockets from the rest of the side. Amy getting chased down. Swift phase dives onto him. Amy going to get slowed down as well. The phosphorus bomb, they got to keep chasing Amy pretty quick, but TNT takes him out.
Amy just doesn't want to die.
No.
Very good at living, but the rest of his side are just struggling to stay alive right now. They had the advantage in terms of vision control when that fight broke out, but they couldn't find anything. TCT, very smart usage of the threat of Tibbers. Not actually throwing the Tibbers down until it was the right time, but just skirting the edges of the fight, saying, I can drop a Tibbers on you right now, but I'm not going to until it's the best situation. Allows the rest of the side to get there in time. They find a convincing win again in these team fights. Xiaogu starting to run away with the game. And now even the turrets are even. You can see the gold lead is stretched.
Yeah, almost 6,000 gold up for Xiaogu right now. And items only getting stronger. Duinbi had his kind of core elements of this particular build. The Abyssal, the Rod of Ages, and his cooldown boots completed. Now moving into a Zhonya's. TNT's good. He's got a Trinity Force. He's actually spotted Long, Heart, and Skatch doing his red buff, and immediately Valkyrie's out of the way. Swift will try and make the difference. He looks for the stun, doesn't get it. A little short there on the area of the convergence. Swift are going to keep fighting in. Chrono breaks out for a bit more health, but the rest of the team's here. V, though, going to try and dive in and make the difference. Long getting low. They'll dive back in. Punish takes out Duinbi. 1v3 there as Duinbi couldn't survive the rest of the damage. V is still alive somehow. The double stun from TCT might be enough to make the difference. Amy will fall low. Now Skatch getting chased up by TNT. He's going to keep running. He's got rockets. He's got red. And the big one claims him.
As if to add insult to injury, TNT found the red buff before that fight even started, sniping it from the 3 members that were in that area, taking it away from him specifically. So they follow that up very well. You can see the impact that Swift is having on this Echo. The fact that he can carry in these fights as Duinbi actually gets completely taken out in this one, I believe it was, by Punish. The strength of the victor is always evident, needs to be respected. Regardless of the period of the game, ahead or behind, the fact that that can happen.
Oh,
yeah, that was close.
Made it close. Duinbi getting as much as he can out of his Cassidy, but Amy starting it off nicely with an ulti. Couldn't quite survive through a lot of the Chaos Storm damage, so Xiaogu will reset. Do get some nice kills there, but can't claim any objectives by the look of things. I think they got a tower in the mid lane, 4-3 currently in that, and almost 10,000 gold ahead. Xiaogu, we talked about needing that 30-35 minute mark to sort of get ahead. They are well and truly ahead now at under 27 minutes.
Yeah, they're on target to try and end the game by that 30-35 minute mark. So looking very strong right now, and again, Swift is just being this monstrous force in the front line. V has been hitting all of the ultimates. And it raises questions as to the one thing they still have in their side Unlimited Potential is the Graves. Great in the laning phase, but Xiaogu can just put that lane swap into effect, and you've seen Skatch do hardly anything. Of course, he's been hitting some of the nice ultimates, been sniping people out, but just really cannot impact the rest of the game like the Corki can from a distance and like the Cassidy can from point blank.
Do you feel like UP just didn't press the mid game here? because we had a really quiet period in the middle, sort of between dragon spawns.
Swift caught.
Oh, that's bad news. TCT caught as well. Stuns onto Amy as they'll dive in onto Punish in the backlines. Doinby coming in for cleanup, but Annie's already dead. Sketch will claim that kill. He's chasing out onto the graves now, but he's forced a Chrono break out. B will dive into the backside, gets the ulti down as Punish fighting Doinby, but Doinby and TNT take him out. Sketch will die. That's the 2 carries dead. I don't know if UP can do much more after that, and it's clean up city now for Xiaogu. They chase down 3, they'll make long for the 4th, and Amy once again off to the hills running away.
Yeah, Amy just struggling to have an impact in these games, but every single member of Xiaogu is just performing stellar to what their team requires of them. V is just too big. And again, this adds to the Graves point that we were making. They needed a hyper-scaling AD, otherwise they had to push that mid-game. They couldn't do anything in the mid-game well enough. It was 3-0 in turrets, but then they just lost 1 fight, and suddenly the entirety of this game just snowballs out of their hands. Xiaogu are now so far ahead. They haven't got an inhibitor though. The base is now broken.
Yeah, they've got the mid nice and wide open, so can kind of take that at their leisure. The Dragon is back up here. Probably want to deny at least the 3rd away from UP and take the 1st, or maybe just run to Baron and take that. Whatever the next move is for Xiaogu, they're already 10,000 gold there. They're probably feeling pretty comfortable.
Definitely feeling comfortable. I'm guessing Doinby's got enough for that Zhonya's very soon because he's being very greedy and going for another wave in the top lane before going to his blue buff at all. So trying to get as much gold as he can before having to recall, I would imagine. Not going to be too far away from that. And the rest of the Xiaogu side, I mean, look at TNT, polar opposite of that last game. Has a Hex Drinker to deny any of the engage from a Victor. It is 11-1.
Xiaogu are ignoring this Dragon. UP will get it. That's going to be their 3rd, but I don't know if they're going to live to see the 5 Dragons here in this game. TCT running up top lane, trying to get the towers down, and Xiaogu more than happy just to run into the top half of the map and force UP to come to them. Nice ward, though.
Spotted by a ward, so they do know they're here. The question is there even a chance of them dealing with this push that Xiaogu are about to have? They've got the numbers.
This tower's dead.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I don't know what else UP are going to lose here. Doinby probably does have to go spend some gold, like I
think they'll rotate mid.
Yep, they're looking for it. Need to get that inhibitor. Don't need to press too much harder here. Ooh, ulti lands onto V, actually going to stun him up, but Doinby turning it around. Damage on the Hut, he's forced to flash out away. Now TCT diving in, Sketch gets stunned, but it is running down Punish here, and Long can't keep his carries alive. V gets a nice 2-man ult. Doinby going to collect the double, make it no, that's Echo there for the kill. No triple there as TCT will get felled by Amy, but there's 4 kills. There's the triple coming in. Amy going to die there as well, and Doinby almost claimed the Penta, but
Scumbag Swift.
Echo stole the 3rd kill, but that's it. Ace there completed. This might be enough to close the game.
They should be able to win the game off the back of this. Another smart team fight from Xiaogu. It was engaged on them as well, but they know they can fight. They recognize how far ahead they really are in this game, and it was a desperation attempt from Unlimited Potential. They don't get the engage they're looking for, only slowing members and not actually stunning them. They can't end.
No, they can't quite end the game. Death time is a little too short here at the 30-minute mark, but not going to take much more than that. Do have to worry about the potential Baron being taken here while rushed down by UP, but Doinby's going to go back. He's got a loot in Echo.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why not?
That's a lot of damage.
That is an abundance, yes. He hasn't actually gone for the Zhonya's,
nope,
which was expected. Didn't even go for the death cap. Outright bought himself that loot.
Oh, TNT. Chased down by Long. Stun there from Hart. Follows in Zenith Blade. Good pick there from Sketch. Nicely set up there by Long.
It was a nice pick onto the Corki. He's a lot of their damage, but I don't think they can win still.
Don't know if you want to go on top of V. Swift going to zone out the backline here as well. He's just jumped on top of the carries. He's buying time. V will come in. Long will die to TCT. Swift Chrono breaks out at the last second as Doinby now going to come in onto Sketch, looking for the kill. Sketch, smoke screen down. Not enough though. Doinby jumps in. Double kill there for Hecarim. 3 for 1 there. The TNT pick was good, but Long, that was too aggressive.
I think they're looking to just end the game now. TCT going to try and stop the recalls as best he can.
Tibber's down. Swift here as well. Will try and stop Amy. He's a little low on health, though. Has to be careful. They'll try and assassinate Hart. Amy going to turn things around. Annie does not have enough damage here, but Tibbers is buying time. Xiaogu look to be ending the game. TCT will get the kill onto Hart. Now they'll chase down Amy. Doinby casually taking out towers in the Nexus. Amy going to get kited to death, and the game is over. Xiaogu claim the Nexus as they run around in the blue buff.
Didn't find the last kill. The game ended way too quickly for them, but again, they were just so far ahead, toying with this side almost. An unlimited potential, they knew they were behind. They knew they had to be very desperate in their decision making and get themselves the kills or try and force a desperate Baron. But one kill's not enough when Qiao was so far ahead.
Yeah, and they tried to chase for more, trying to snowball that pick, but it's just too much to handle. They're Doinby once again. A massive cast of the game. Qiao, impressive to me that they take the same comp twice in a series, win with it both times, and somehow game 2 looks even better.
Yeah, they had game 1 was a very rough start in that bot lane in particular, but game 2 turned around completely. They got a lane swap this time, changed the way they were playing, but still the same dive team comp that Qiao does, and they are so good at doing, is just being in the face of unlimited potential, preventing them from that 35-minute scaling point in the game, and just outplaying them.
Yeah, and Qiao with some very impressive play and a really nice looking team composition, claim first place for now.
Till further notice.
Till further notice, EDG are playing in the final game